Hey there, YouTube. Myron Golden here, and I want to share with you today some success scams that you need to avoid, because if you don't, you will absolutely suffer.
Yeah. Here we go. You see, I got where I am because someone reached out a hand. Help me to stand, be an independent man.
Because I'm standing on the shoulders of a giant.
The shoulders of a giant, y'all.
I'm thankful.
It's amazing to me how these big platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they haven't found a way to like just block the scammers from the platform, right? And I know on Instagram there are probably at least 19 fake Myron Golden profiles with different spellings and different a zero where the O should be in Myron, and Goldan, Goldan instead of Goldan, and people fall for it. And what they do is they inbox those people pretending that they're me, right? And they say, hey, we've got this great investment for you. It's going to be great. Send us $1,000. And first of all, know that I would never do that. Okay, whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I'm not ever gonna inbox you and ask you to send me anything. We've reported it. Our followers of support have reported it, and still they don't take them down. Now, it's fascinating to me that they'll take down a legitimate account because they didn't like something they said with censorship, but they won't censor these clowns that are out there taking advantage of people. That's a different conversation for a different day. Every time I place a new YouTube video, somebody on my team has to take an hour out of their life to go and delete fake comments responses from people who put a picture of me and then say, message me on WhatsApp for more information. I mean, all of that's terrible. It's terrible that those people do that. But I'm going to tell you something else that's terrible. It's terrible that you fall for it. And the reason you're falling for it is because you bought into a lie that there is in the world something for nothing. And in order for you to understand whether a success principle is real or not, you have to understand how life works. Because you're not going to find a success principle that goes against a real success principle that goes against other success principles. It just doesn't work like that. Like, all principles are microcosms of each other. They all point in the same direction. They all basically affirm the same things. They affirm truth. And when I say truth, I'm not talking about your truth and my truth and his truth and her truth. I'm talking about the truth, because truth is not subjective. Truth is objective. Now, what's true is dynamic and it can change. But what's truth is static and it never changes. So it's interesting that people buy into this idea. I mean, full-grown adults, like with responsibilities and jobs and families and stuff, they'll send some clown that they've never heard of, that they've never seen before, their money because that person said they were somebody else that they look up to. Like, something in you should say, scam alert, scam alert, scam alert. But here's the problem. Here's how you can tell whether a scam is legitimate or not. All you have to do is look at the thing that's being presented to you and ask yourself this question. Does it match the very first foundational success principle in Scripture? What? The very first foundational success scripture and principle in Scripture? What is that? Well, the first thing God ever said to a human being is the first foundational success principle. Here's what God said. He said, be fruitful. I'm not even going to write fruitful. I'm just going to write be. Be fruitful. Now, what does fruitful mean? Fruitful, a fruit is a living organism whose seed is in itself. So the seed for its reproduction is inside the fruit. So when God said, be fruitful, what he's saying is you produce on the outside based on what I put on the inside of you. So I put something in you that's supposed to show up outside of you and around you. So be fruitful means God took an aspect of his creativity and he installed it inside of each and every one of us. And then he told us to make sure that shows up outside of us. So be fruitful means that you're supposed to exercise your creativity and experience all that comes with that. How cool is that? Okay, so that's the first thing. Be fruitful. Then he said, multiply. Multiply is not a be. You wouldn't say be multiply. The implied verb that's not stated is do. Do multiply. What does multiply mean? Multiply means to increase. So produce on the outside based on what I put on the inside and increase. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool success formula. So I have to become something so that I can do something. Be fruitful, do multiply, increase. Replenish the earth. Replenish means to fill up. So Here's what's going to happen. As you are being fruitful and as you are increasing, you're going to start having stuff show up that wasn't there before. And so what you're going to do is you're going to fill up the earth with all the stuff you create. How cool is that? Like, that's one of the coolest things ever. Be fruitful, do multiply, do replenish. And then he said, do subdue. What does subdue mean? Subdue means to trample down. It means to stomp. Now, why is God telling us, if he's telling us to be fruitful, he's telling us to multiply or increase, and he's telling us to fill up the earth, why in the world would he tell us to stomp something? Because that is a success principle that you need to be aware of, and that is that disruption always follows intention. It doesn't matter what you do, in what arena you do it in. After you intend to do something good, the first thing that shows up is something difficult. Why? Because disruption always follows intention. It was like that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's his intention. What was the disruption? And the earth became without form and void and darkness upon the face of the deep. That's the disruption that followed the intention. But what happens after that? After disruption follows intention, we have to find some inspiration, because what does it say after that? It says, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And then after we get inspired, inspiration alone is not enough, so what do we have to do? We have to learn something we didn't know so we can see something we couldn't see. That's why God said, let there be light. And there was light, and God saw the light, that it was good. And so what happens is we begin to follow this be fruitful, do multiply, do multiply, do replenish, do subdue, and then he says, have dominion. So here's the formula for success. This is the ultimate success formula. It's in the Bible. In the very first chapter, God gave us a wink and said, in case you don't get to chapter 2, I want you to be okay, right? And so be, do, have. Here's what that means. Don't be, can't do. Can't do, can't have. So how can I use this to keep from being scammed? Anytime somebody is telling you you can have something without doing something, or you can do something without becoming something, they are lying. How simple is that? This is like the simplest scam test in the world. This is why I hate done-for-you businesses. I don't hate done-for-you services, but I hate done-for-you business. You just pay me $30,000, and I'm going to go build you an e-com store, and you're going to make millions of dollars. Well, if you could do that, why wouldn't you just take the time you're going to do that and go make the e-com store for yourself and make your own millions of dollars? Like, I'm never going to tell somebody, I'm going to build your business for you. All you have to do is pay me a bunch of money, and it's going to be easy. That does not exist in life. And so people tell you, okay, so here's what you can do. You can have the results of an investor without doing what investors do. Just send me money, right? Or without becoming what investors have become. It's always a scam. So when you see a comment if you see a reply to a comment on one of my videos, and it says, hey, this is Myron, message me on WhatsApp for more information. Don't ever send a message, like report that person, and as soon as we see them, we delete them. But literally, when we put up a new video, the first day, there are dozens of those spammy posts, those like con artist posts. And then people call those people and then send them money and then call us and want us to fix it. I can't fix it for you. You disregarded the principle. Here's the principle. Do, be, have. Be, do, have. Don't be, can't do, can't have. Be a little, do a little. Do a little, have a little. Be a lot, do a lot. Do a lot, have a lot. This is the ultimate success formula. So what you got to do is you got to focus on becoming more than you are. And this is the thing. This is, by the way, this is why success feels so hard. The hardest part of the whole formula is not the having. Obviously, that's not hard, right? The doing is not even hard. Here's the hard part: becoming the person who can do the thing. This is the difficulty lies here. You know why? Because we're so used to who we've been being, and we're so used to how people interact with us as who we've been being, that when we think about becoming someone other than who we've been being, that internal resistance is the thing that causes the persistence of all of the obstacles in our lives. How many of y'all tracking? You wait, right? So what we have to do now is we have to focus on becoming. When we focus on becoming, then we'll be able to do, and then ultimately we'll be able to have. So that's how you avoid being scammed by scammers on Instagram, there are other success scams that you want to be aware of, but that is the ultimate success scam that you want to be aware of, because if you don't, you're going to suffer the consequences. If somebody's telling you can have something without doing, or do something without having or becoming, they are lying. Now, either they're lying or God's lying, and he can't lie, so now you know the rest of the story. All right, guys, like this video, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, smash it, and all that other YouTube-y stuff that all those YouTube-y people say. All right, peace out, Cub Scouts.